Tips for image optimization in Frame. Frame automatically optimizes images for the web, but sometimes choosing the right format and image dimensions can make a huge impact on bandwidth usage, which results in faster sites. In this video, I'll cover when to choose the right format and also compare the results of the published site. Sizing images for the web. A common mistake novices make when uploading image assets is to upload them at their full resolution, and this is good for maintaining image quality but isn't always ideal, as it can slow down a website. Now, in most cases, you don't need to resize images, as Frame automatically resizes and optimizes images. However, if you have cards that will never display bigger than 400 pixels, then a good practice would be to upload them at, for example, 800 pixels or double the image size, and that should be sufficient for that image. And if you do upload images at their full quality, try to keep the resolution reasonable and not too big, so that it's good enough to be viewed on a 4K or 8K display. And then once you've uploaded an image, you can just set the resolution to auto or auto lossless to prevent visual artifacts. So when choosing the right image format, there are a few things to consider. For example, is it a raster or vector image? Should it have transparency? Will it be animated? Or does Framer support the chosen format? So Framer supports the following raster image formats: JPEG, PNG, WebP, and GIF or GIF. And WebP is a raster graphics file format developed by Google, and it's meant to replace JPEG, PNG, and GIF. And this is an image format that's optimized for the web. And then there's the AV1 image file format, or AVIF, recently supported by most or all major web browsers. And WebP and AVIF are recommended for the web. And Framer automatically converts a raster images like JPEG, PNG, and GIF to WebP or AVIF. And then you have SVG, which is not a raster image format, but it's a vector graphic format. And these are optimized using SVGO or SVGO. If you have a vector image, then it's recommended to use an SVG. However, if it's a complex SVG or has a graphic embedded, then it's best to upload an SVG vector graphic as a PNG. An overview of recommended image formats. If you have a photo or a graphic that's lossy, then you can upload as a JPEG. If you need to upload photos or graphics in a lossless format, or if you have, for example, a transparent PNG, then you can upload as a PNG. If you have a vector, and then it's recommended to just keep it as an SVG and upload it as an SVG, or you can convert it to PNG if it's a complex vector. And then animated GIF, you can also upload the animated GIF and you can leave that as is, or you can choose a different format, for example, video, if it's more efficient. As an experiment, I'll be uploading and comparing the formats JPEG, PNG, and SVG. I'll be uploading the same 18 megapixel photo as a JPEG and as a PNG. And then I'll be uploading the same vector image as an SVG and PNG. And then I'll compare the result. For this experiment, I've created a grid of 3 images and 2 rows. So we've got the raster images on the first row, and then on the second row, I've got the vector illustrations that I'll compare. So I'll start by uploading the JPEG photo. So the JPEG photo, as you can see here, the resolution, I've noted down the resolution and the file size, which matches over here. So I'll simply click on the image fill box, click on image, choose the image, I'll choose my image, and here I'll choose the JPEG. And once that's uploaded, I can set the resolution here to auto lossless, small, medium, large, full. So it's It's recommended to keep it at auto. However, you can set these if you need to set a fixed resolution, so either small, medium, large, or full. I'll leave it at auto for the JPEG. Next, I'll do the PNG photo, choose image, and I've noted the file size here, as well as the original dimensions. And then I'll upload the photo again. Here I've kept the resolution as auto. And then I'll upload the same PNG, but I'll set the resolution to lossless. And then for the vectors, I'm going to upload an SVG. I have noted down the file size here, dimensions, file size. And if I click here, you can see here are the dimensions of the PNG file and the file size. It's the same for the SVG, the JPEG, and the PNG. So let me upload the SVG first. Choose the SVG. And as you can see, there's no option for resolution. And then for the PNG, I'll do auto and then auto lossless. I'll just upload the same image. And this is exported at a rather large resolution, which is just to demonstrate that if a framer will resize such a large image. Right, so now I have uploaded my images. I'm going to publish my site, but before I do that, I'm just going to use the agent to add alt tags for each image. So I'll just write my prompt. Right, so that the agent has added alt text for all images. I can see here it has all the beautifully described alt text added for each image, as well as the vectors. So now I'll just publish this site and then compare the results. Right, so with the site published, I'm going to download each image as well as the lightbox version of the image. This should be the full resolution, and then this should be the resized resolution. So I've downloaded all the images from the published site. So I'll start by comparing the JPEG photos, so the original dimensions and the file size. So that's the file size was around 4 megabytes and 5,184 pixels wide. And if I compare it, I can see the dimensions for the thumbnail here, which I've named photo thumb. The dimensions have been reduced, so it was automatically resized. And then the file size is obviously going to be much smaller, so that's optimized. And if I look at the full view of the image, or the lightbox version of the image that I downloaded, it was automatically converted to AVIF, as was the thumbnail. And the file size has been reduced to almost half, 2.5 megabytes, and the dimensions remain the same. And if I switch on over to the PNG photo, if I have a look at the thumb over here, I can see that photo has been converted to AVIF file, and the dimensions have been reduced, so the file size has also been reduced. And that's for the thumbnail on this page. And then for the lightbox view, the full render, or for the lightbox view or full version of the image, I can see that the dimensions remain the same. It wasn't resized. However, the file size has reduced. And if I look at the PNG photo, this is the full render of the photo. In PNG, it's been converted to WebP. Dimensions remain the same, and the file size has reduced. And the thumbnail has been converted to a AVI F file, resized, and also the file size will obviously be much more reduced due to the resizing. And then for the PNG lossless, I have a look here. You can see that the full render of the image has been converted to WebP, and the image size has been reduced quite a bit while the dimensions remain the same. And then for the thumbnail, or this view here of the image, this view here of the image, it's been converted to AVI file. Dimensions have been reduced, so it's been resized automatically. And then obviously the file size is much smaller due to the resizing and optimization. If I head on over to the vector illustrations, you have the SVG illustrations. So the original file size was 5 kilobytes. I go here, I inspect the SVG file. It's still an SVG file, however, the size has been reduced. So the SVG file has also been optimized. And then I go to the PNG illustration. If I view the thumbnail, you can see that the thumbnail here has been reduced down to a reasonable size, and the conversion has been to WebP, and obviously the image size is now much smaller compared to the original, and that's due to the resizing. And if I look at the original full version, full resolution of the image that I downloaded, the dimensions remain the same. And then we have WebP being the conversion, and then the file size has been reduced quite a bit. And then I switch over to the lossless. The thumbnail has also been resized automatically, converted to WebP, and then it's also much smaller due to the size. And if I switch to the full resolution version of the lossless PNG, you can see the dimensions remain the same. It's been converted to WebP, and the file size has also been reduced quite a bit. As expected, Framer converted the images to WebP and AVIF, and there's been a significant reduction in file size compared to the original, as well as automatic resizing of the thumbnails. And this ensures a fully optimized website experience.